Shame and rejection are two of the most painful and invisible burdens we carry. Unlike physical wounds, these emotional hurts do not leave bruises or scars on our skin, but they etch themselves deeply into our hearts and identities. They isolate us, making us feel like outcasts within our own lives. Shame whispers that we are unworthy, and rejection reinforces the lie that we are not wanted. Yet these are not the final words in our story. No matter what you've been through, whether it's abandonment, failure, ridicule, or the lingering effects of trauma, you are not alone, and more importantly, you are not beyond hope. There is a path to healing, and it begins with seeing yourself through eyes of compassion rather than judgment. Shame is a powerful emotion, often misunderstood and misnamed. It is different from guilt. Guilt tells us we've done something wrong. Shame tells us we are something wrong. This shift from behavior to identity is what makes shame so insidious. It often begins early, perhaps from a harsh word, a neglectful parent, a schoolyard humiliation, and slowly grows, shaping how we see ourselves and interact with the world. Shame can drive us to overachieve in hopes of earning worth, or cause us to shrink and hide to avoid more hurt. But here is the truth. Shame is a liar. It distorts your humanity. You are not defined by your worst moment or the opinion of someone who couldn't see your value. You are worthy of love, grace, and a second chance, not because you've earned it, but because you exist. Rejection, too, carries an unbearable weight. It can feel like being pushed outside of life's circle, left out in the cold, watching others receive what you long for: love, inclusion, recognition. Whether it's being overlooked in relationships, abandoned by family, or dismissed in professional spaces, rejection communicates a message of not enough, and we internalize that. But rejection, painful as it is not a definitive statement about your value. Often rejection is redirection, an ending that makes way for a beginning you could not yet see. It is not a verdict on your worth, but a chapter in your story. The places and people that reject you may not be capable of holding your truth. That doesn't make you less. It simply means you are meant for something different, something deeper. Shame and rejection often work together in a vicious loop. Rejection feeds shame, and shame in turn makes us more afraid of being rejected again. This cycle can feel impossible to break. We protect ourselves by hiding parts of who we are, fearing they are too much or not enough. But healing requires vulnerability. It asks us to step out from behind the masks and risk being seen. True belonging doesn't come from fitting in, it comes from being authentic. When we begin to show up as ourselves, flawed, healing, growing, we give ourselves the chance to be loved for who we are, not for the version of ourselves we pretend to be. In the face of shame and rejection, safe relationships are essential. Healing is not a solo journey. We were wounded in relationship, and we will find healing there too. There are people, maybe just a few but enough, who will meet your vulnerability with empathy, not judgment. A friend who listens without fixing. A therapist who helps you name what you've been through. A community that reminds you that your pain is valid and your healing is possible. Shame cannot survive empathy. The moment someone says, "Me too," shame loses its grip. Let yourself be known by people who deserve to hear your story. Perhaps the most radical act of healing is learning to be kind to yourself. So many of us offer endless compassion to others but hold ourselves to impossible standards. We speak to ourselves in tones we'd never use with someone we love. But what if you became your own ally? What if you allowed yourself to be human, to fail, to feel, to rest, to begin again? Self-compassion is not self-pity. It's strength. It's saying, this hurts and I'm going to take care of myself through it. It's holding space for your own healing without demanding perfection. Every time you choose self-kindness over self-criticism, you are rebuilding the foundation shame tried to tear down. Another crucial piece of healing is reclaiming your story. Shame thrives in secrecy. It tells us to keep quiet, to hide our truth, because no one will understand. But when you tell your story, even just to yourself, you begin to take back power. You begin to separate who you are from what happened to you. You move from silence to voice. You get to decide the meaning of your experiences. What once felt like failure or abandonment becomes evidence of resilience and survival. You are not a broken narrative. You are a living testament of courage. Your story is not over, and you get to choose how it continues. Vulnerability remains central in this process. This doesn't mean oversharing or handing your story to those who haven't earned your trust. It means living with authenticity. It means allowing your inside world to match your outside expression. The more you walk in honesty about who you are and what you've survived, the less power shame has over you. Vulnerability invites connection. It draws in the people who will love you not in spite of your wounds, but because of your strength to endure them. Living vulnerably is living free, and freedom is what your soul is longing for. Now imagine a life beyond the shadows of shame and rejection, a life where your past doesn't define you, where you move forward without carrying the crushing weight of unworthiness. This life is real, and it is reachable. It doesn't mean you'll never feel pain again, but it means the pain no longer controls your decisions. You will begin to trust your voice, honor your needs, and accept love without suspicion. Each small step, each boundary set, each truth spoken, each tear shed in safety brings you closer to that life. Healing is not about forgetting the past. It's about choosing a future. If you are reading this and carrying the heaviness of shame or rejection, know this: you are not alone. What happened to you matters, but it does not have the final say. You are not defined by the way others have treated you. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are a human being deserving of love, peace, and connection. Healing is possible. It won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. There are people who will walk this road with you. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to take the next brave step. Your life still holds beauty, purpose, and belonging. Keep going. The world needs the you that shame tried to silence, and that you is rising again.